very special cat, Shadow. Shadow was adopted by our family from the SPCA in Conshohocken on Martin Luther King Day in 2002. We were told that he was about 2 years old, but there was no other information. Our previous cat had just passed away at the age of 21, and my then 5- and 6-year-old kids were excited to welcome home a new cat. Shadow was in a crate. We were told that he wasn't ready to be adopted yet. He had worms and a few other issues, and maybe we would want a different cat who we could have that day. We said we'd wait. Shadow had most certainly chosen us, and we were okay with coming back a few days later when he was ready to come home. In those days, we lived in Ballackinwood. We were in the midst of a kitchen renovation, and Shadow hadn't been home for more than a few hours when we realized we couldn't find him anywhere. It took a little while when we realized that he was hanging out inside our dining room ceiling. And it was a quick lesson that Shadow goes where he wants and when he wants, but he always came back. Shadow immediately let us know that he was not meant to be an inside cat. We lived next door to the French International School, which is attached to the public library, and across the field was an Orthodox synagogue. With all sorts of people passing by, children in the playground, and a warm and cozy library, as those who know Shadow would imagine, those three places were an instant draw. The public library was his favorite. As he did here at the church, Shadow would stand outside waiting for someone to open the door. Most of the staff knew him, and he'd come in and find a comfy spot behind the desk where the books are checked out. And at the end of each day, the librarian did a walkthrough to make sure that he wasn't locked in. She lived down the street from us, so Shadow would walk her part way and then come home to dinner. The kids at the French school all knew Shadow as well. He played in their playground and then would head over to services at the synagogue afterwards. The kids there knew Shadow and would carry him home when their playtime was over. Shadow was well known around Ballackinwood as well. One day we got a phone call from a young woman a few blocks away. It was Halloween, and she was visiting her mom and giving out candy. And as they sat in their living room watching TV, she noticed a cat sitting on the table next to the television. At first she didn't think about it, but then she said to her mom, "Mom, we don't have a cat." And her mom told her it was Shadow, but maybe it would be good for him not to be out on Halloween. At our house in Ballackinwood, St. Joe's University was just a few blocks away. One afternoon, about 20 guys ran by as they were getting in shape for the track season. This was not uncommon. However, what was unusual was that about 5 minutes later, they all ran back and up my front walk, with Shadow in their arms, of course, bringing him home. So in 2009, we moved to Westview Street. Having said emotional goodbyes at the library, the French school, and the shul, at first we kept Shadow inside so that he could get to know his new home. It didn't take long for him to figure out that there were kids playing at the church across the street, and the rest is history. Over the years, people have smiled as I walked my dogs with Shadow tagging along behind. We've had many calls from people wondering if he was lost, but eventually everyone, from the front steps of the co-op to High Point, of course Summit Church, figured out that Shadow knew his way home and that he was just out enjoying the neighborhood. One evening I was here at the church for a yoga class, and as you may know, at the end of each class is a short rest period where everyone lays on their backs. I was taking a few deep breaths, enjoying the calm as I looked over across the room. Shadow was too. One of my favorite Shadow stories is the day when there was a little fair here at the church. John and I walked in and there was a game. Help Shadow find his way back to Summit Church. And the prize was a stuffed cat. We had no idea how well loved our cat had become. We both grinned and quietly said to the person running the game that Shadow was our cat. We were instant celebrities. And they loudly announced that Shadow's parents were in the house. So many of the children and their families here have known and cared for Shadow. As I've walked to the co-op or to the woods with my dogs, I've watched so many of you greet him and reach down to pat his head. Over the past few years, as Shadow grew older and had some health problems, we've appreciated the many people in the church and in the community who have looked out for Shadow and cared for him. There were sweet knocks on our door, bringing him home on a cold night, and random bowls of water on our porch in case he was thirsty. Every now and again, he'd come home with a new collar. Where's Angela? have carefully been moved from the old one to the new one. Thank you for caring for Shadow and sharing his pleasure in being part of the community. Shadow had a presence, a peacefulness, an intuition, and the ability to comfort and be a friend from the very start. Whether you were a child, a dog, a crowd of teenagers hanging out on the church steps late on a Saturday night, or just someone on your way to the co-op, Shadow is interested to know who you are. Each morning, Shadow would make his way downstairs, have some breakfast, and then stand by the back door and wait for me to open it. It seemed he was saying to me, I'm heading out to work, but I'll be back later. He took his work seriously. The people and animals who we know, The people and animals who we know mark periods in our lives. For me, Shadow was part of the growing up years of my children, and I know he was an important influence and that they loved him very much. Someone like Shadow, a creature who takes an interest in the events going on around him, who participates and makes others feel good that they showed up, who doesn't care if you're heading to the church to folk dance, to do yoga, to attend services, to vote, or to go to preschool, and who gets out there on a daily basis to greet the fellow creatures in their neighborhood, someone like Shadow. So we forget sometimes to touch each other's lives. We forget that it's okay to ask for our heads to be scratched. We sometimes don't remember to take a deep breath and purr, when actually purring is what would calm a tense moment. Today, we are so touched that you're here to remember Shadow, and on his behalf, we encourage you not to hesitate to climb up on someone's keyboard when you need some attention, or to snuggle into someone's lap for some purring participation in tough decisions, and to have the patience to wait by the door when you want to come in. Someone's going to open it. And to build the friendships that make it so that kind people will keep a bowl of cat food under their desk, along with a cup of pillow, to make you welcome. Thank you all for loving Shadow, and thanks for the reminder that it's good to be like Shadow.